Good day to all. Good day to all. This is Nurturing of Our Humanity. This is my Wednesday live. And let's get right to it. So, I have a couple of topics, but, I keep coming across, I guess you could say in a sense, kind of fresh content or fresh things that kind of just seem to get to the top of my list or take up more thought space. So, in that more thought space, I feel like it's more apt to be a topic for a Wednesday live, something that's spur of the moment. Now, when I start having a tough time finding them, hopefully I can dig back, find good content, good topics, and we can keep going. But anyway, let's talk about this. I'm very happy that a lot of David Banner content has been going across my algorithm and my timeline recently. And David Banner was speaking of something that he was told by Louis Farrakhan, and that's what the topic of this whole situation is here today, okay? And so you can't feed the people if you you can't lead the people if you can't feed the people. I'm sorry. You can't lead the people if you can't feed the people. So from there, I want to go to gardening and sun worship. And I look at gardening as tapping into the season. Like it's a conveyor belt. The year is it's a conveyor belt, one big loop, and if you jump on that conveyor belt at the right times for your climate and your geographic location and grow and pick the right things to grow and the right techniques to grow them under, which is not that complex. A lot of it's just luck, and most of it's all this stuff wants to live. When you see a seed, you're looking at a time capsule that is trying to find the right conditions to spawn and to do its thing, to germinate. As a gardener, you just say, no, you'll do better if I put you here. This location is going to be good because the sun is going to move this way. That's a lot of what I see gardening as, is just getting in front of nature and things of that sort in a beautiful way, in a effortless way, in a very efficient way. And, in the process, you can learn so many things like patience and tending to others and hydration. Speaking of, let's drink some water. Because just like plants, we need water too. We need food. We need an environment that is conducive to our growth. Same thing in that way. This is a beautiful season. This morning I was very pleasantly surprised. I have some sunflowers growing in the front, very strategically placed. And in one of the corners where I've just kind of started prepping a little area for that, and I have some sunflowers going. And there's this other beautiful flower that just grows up. It's some kind of a bulb that comes up every year, and it jumps up and it just has all these different white flowers that just stack up. They're beautiful, but they're fragile as I don't know what. And I kid you not, they look beautiful for maybe lucky if we get 2 weeks of beauty out of this thing a year. And then it just wilts and goes away, and that's it. And next year it comes back again. But anyway, in that same corner, a duck, a female duck, or maybe a family of ducks, I don't know how they work, but a female duck has laid 3 eggs. So they're actually on the property of my home and in my front yard, but in the cut, but in a nice little space. And I made sure I talked to my brother about it. He said he's cool with it. And so we're going to let this happen and let life kind of make its course. And hopefully through the course of this, the duck doesn't get too petrified of us and understands it where we're cool with it. But I'm not going to stop living and listening to music and hanging in the garage and doing other stuff I do. But I do want to be attentive to that because I look at it as a real blessed thing when something chooses your your environment to make its to call its home. I think that's very special. Um, we've had ducks here, definitely had hummingbirds set up here. It's so amazing to look into their little nests and see their tiny eggs that are smaller than M&Ms. Like it's unbelievable almost to see that. Um, and also, um, what has chosen to live here. Let me see. I've had something else that's been here as well. Um, but regardless, the effort of that. But to get back to the leadership and things of that, um, I want to use a saying um, to explain where I believe we are in in the cycle of the times we're living through right now. Um, it's hard to say you're in hard times when there's always somebody lives longer than you saying, oh, you don't learn about hard times. We used to, you name it, right? Walk 10 miles to school uphill and walk back home 10 miles to school uphill. Like everybody has their stories and their stuff about things like that, but this is the gist of it. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Those hard times create strong men, and those stronger men create easy times, and so on and so on. So it's a perpetual cycle. I believe we're getting to the harder times, which means these times are created by weak men, by that saying alone, and it still fits and feels accurate. But this is not just a hard time. This is an opportunity to stand up and shine and be great. If, I've been running across this for some time, but when the bat signal goes up, that's when Batman knows it's all bad. I think that bat signal has gone up in lots of ways. And when times get really tough, people start questioning and paying different attention to things that they used to write off and think they knew so much about. And things that weren't appreciated can jump the pedestal and become very appreciated or much higher priority on the list of things that are going on in life. So I look at this as an opportunity to show valor, to show excuse me, will stand up and resist a lot of the movement and motion that's going on. Because see, the rapids in the water are created by the things that oppose the flow. When everything is moving clean and smooth, there's no opposition. Everything and everybody is going with the flow. But as soon as you start meeting opposition along that path, you get rapids. So um, to be one of the people who's always questioning things, who's not jumping in, not a follower, never, just haven't been. Plan to keep it that way. That's not my plan to follow them, and I think the easy way to know you're not a follower or that you're destined for some type of leadership is when you look around and you don't see anything to look up to. What I mean by that, I'm not saying there's not honorable people. What I'm saying is you don't see an example of what you would aspire to be just around you, or it's a piece of this, a piece of that, some of this, some of that. That's it. It's not just, oh yeah, if I could just do what that person does, I'd be great. I'd be happy with my life. Or if I could just do the path of this, if I could just have what that person has, that's everything I want. Some of us want something that's yet to be created. And how many of us have the ability to want to create it or to create it, to put it into motion? I want a world of more gardening, so I'm helping people to do gardening. I'm trying to become what is missing in the world around me. That's the key. That's the sign. That's the tip. That's the the whisper that the universe is giving us. Um, I aspire to be worthy of leadership through these hard times, and I think I got a more Malcolm X swing to it than a Martin Luther, but basically, I'm no racism, I'm no bias. I give a damn about politics and all this stuff. I think these are just excuses, race that people use to divide themselves because it's so much harder to be a person of high moral fiber and to judge people by what you get from them, not by what you see on the outside of them. But I'm much more dense than that, and I expect more of myself than that, and I will continue to. And I hope I can continue to be a positive light because in a lot of circles I move through, I am the positive energy that comes through. A lot of that is because I'm walking through negativity or situations that have been given up on. But the fact that I can stand strong enough to actually create a new narrative is something to be proud of. And I'm going to keep that up. As long as I have breath and power in my body, that's my goal. And to help and to bring common sense science to all of that. But with that said, um, that's what I wanted to speak on today. Um, was just the power of that and how I was moved by that statement and thinking about how I am a gardener and how I'm inspired to grow more or less food than ornamental things. Because I think food can be beautiful as well. But anyway, with that being said, I'm sitting here looking out my window, looking at butterflies, which I cannot stand flying around my brand new watermelon sprouts and stuff. But that's what nature is. It's a lot of pros and cons. It's things that oppose each other, and if you took the balance off, I think it would throw a lot of things out of whack. So we have to learn how to master it on smaller capsule layers, so we can you know be a benefit to the nurturing of nature around us. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to sign off. That's my live. I appreciate it. Next Wednesday, we'll be back in here. We'll be back in here to do it again. And until then, thank you. Peace out.